I'm so happy and excited to be here. My name is Bingi Nyakwela, as I've been introduced, from Tanzania. I've been in the business for so many years, and I'm blessed to have a lot of leaders and uplines that have taught us along the way so many different products. And the product that we're going to talk about today is Super Gro, because Super Gro has been one of the best sellers in Tanzania. And it sells itself. If you know what it does, it sells itself. And I'm so excited to discuss this with one of our very strong leaders in Tanzania, Ray Baruti and Rose Baruti. Together, they've built such a strong business. They have 4 PTs in their team. So just know he's the right person to teach us about this product. Ray Baruti, please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Bingi. Good morning. I hope you're all well. My name is Raymond Baruti, as I've been introduced. I'm honored to share a stage with my immediate upline. So whatever I'm going to tell you today is her teaching. If there's anything wrong, she's the one who's... No, she's a very, very good upline, so we're grateful. I'm married to my beautiful Rose. She was here on coordinating the panel of skincare. She already gave our story. I was listening to to the story she was giving. Some of the points I was asking if she was actually talking about me. When she said I was asking a lot about the money, I'm sure that was not me. Anyway, we are grateful to God for this opportunity because it has changed our life completely. I'm a professional quantity surveyor who is retired. Now I'm doing this business full time.
Thank you, Ray. So a little bit about Super Gro. Super Gro is a farming product. Recently in Tanzania, it has been registered as a fertilizer. In Tanzania, so different markets have different registration requirement. It took us so long. We've had it for so many years, but it's only this year. I think it's only been 2 months that it's been registered as fertilizer. So you can't sell it as a fertilizer in your country unless it is registered. You can get in trouble if you say it's a fertilizer and if it's not registered. So we are grateful, finally, because we are having such a hard time selling it, because it has so many benefits, and to sell it as a fertilizer was very easy. So farmers will always say, or distributors will always say it's a fertilizer while it was not registered. So we used to get in trouble for that. So if it's not registered in your country as a fertilizer, please do not sell it as it. So what is Super Gro? Mainly Super Gro, as the other home care products, it's a home care product, yes, fertilizer in Tanzania, but it's 100% non-toxic, as the home care range, biodegradable. But it as a farming product, mainly it acts as a wetting agent. So as a wetting agent, it breaks the surface tension of water. So when you water, the water can spread evenly on the ground. So it can penetrate better and makes the soil softer. So if the soil becomes soft, it means the roots can penetrate to the soil easier and deeper, and it can get to the lower level that normally has more nutrients.
Yes, thank you, Bingi. When that happens, when the roots gets deeper and deeper, it enables the plants to be greener because it gets the nutrients from the soil. It helps the plant to produce chlorophyll, which in turn produces a lot of food for the development of the plants. As a result of that, it helps the plant to grow faster and more evenly and produce more yields, which are bigger and more tastier. So it's more profit to the farmer. We have stories of the farmers who have doubled their yields when they started using the Super Gro. And the other day, Charlie was sharing a story of one farmer who is doing carrot farming. sorry. It's themselves, Charlie. Oh, sorry. He was talking about themselves. Charlie were able, after using the Super Grow, were able to produce carrots of 30 centimeters. You're talking about a carrot of 30 centimeters. You can see there on the stage. So it's a wonderful product to use if you're a farmer and you want to be effective as a farmer.
Yeah, so Super Grow, it's so amazing. Another benefit, it also acts as a glue. So when you spray Super Grow, if you mix with other pesticides, it helps the pesticide stick onto the plant, onto the leaves. So if it's rainy season, like for tomato farmers, when they spray pesticides and it rains, the pesticide is washed off. So they have to spray again. If it's rainy season, it can rain. In Tanzania, it can rain several times a day for like the whole week. So imagine having to spray over and over. So if you mix Super Grow and pesticide, the chemicals in the pesticide will stick to the leaves, but it will stick and work for the period that's supposed to work. Sometimes we have farmers asking, if it sticks to the plant, does it mean the toxins will stay longer onto the plant? No, it won't. It will stay for the length that is supposed to stay on the plant. So also, since it's acting as a glue, it helps the flowers stick onto the plant. When it's very dry, very hot, or very windy, we experience a lot of flowers fall off. But if you spray Super Grow, it helps the flowers stick onto the plant. So again, if the flower stays onto the plant, they turn into fruits. And it means you end up getting more crops.
Okay, well, one of the major benefits of using Super Grow is the cost effectiveness to the farmer. As we've said, it helps a farmer to cut cost of the farming cost. As we've said, because they're using the plants get nutrients from the soil, it means there's less need for using the fertilizers. So the farmer saves a lot of cost of fertilizers. And then because it acts as a glue, it means there's a cost cutting when it comes to the cost of pesticides. For those farmers who are doing irrigation, it also helps a lot because it makes the use of water better. It optimizes the use of water. So when you use less water, it means it's less cost to the farm. And because there's a reduction in using the pesticides, there's less toxins in the soil. It means back home, there are farmers who are supposed to shift farms because when they're farming in one farm for a long time using fertilizers, it means the soil gets tired and it's non-productive. So by using the Super Grow, there's no need to shift farms because Super Grow helps the soil of the farm to be better and better with the use of Super Grow. And because there's more yield, better yields, and tastier yields, it means there's more money to the farmer. It gets more profitable. So what you're talking here is less cost to the farmer and more profit, more money, because it's getting more yields. So it is a very good deal for all the farmers who want to farm effectively.
Yes, so Super Grow has, as I said, has become one of the popular products in Tanzania. It's very easy to sell, but we get a lot of good testimonies back from the farmers. I know recently for some time we were not allowed to sell it, or we didn't know what to say because the government kept changing what we were supposed to say. And it was so nice hearing what the farmers were saying. They kept telling us, we don't care what you're calling it. If you're calling it fertilizer, whatever you call it, we know it works. So all we want Super Grow. Please do whatever you can to have Super Grow available. So closing, we'll share a few testimonies that we've received from the customers. So in Tanzania, the southern part of the country is popular for plantation of cashew nuts. I know some countries, I think Namibia as well. So for a farmer that farms using Super Grow, what they notice, again, remember I said it acts as a glue and the flowers don't fall off. there were so many cashews on the branches that if you're not prepared, if you don't support the branches fall off. Isn't that a good problem? Yeah, so a lot of flowers stay on the branches. In result, there are so many fruits. So some customers actually, they were shocked why the branches were falling off. But it's because the branches were just full of the cashews.
Yeah, I have a downline who is a farmer, and he was very big tomato farmer. One of his dreams, actually the major dream, was to have an international market, because he was using a lot of toxins, a lot of pesticides to make sure that he get the tomatoes. He couldn't break into that market because there's a limit of toxins that are allowed to go to the international markets. So when he started using Supergrow, everything changed because all the toxins were cut down. He was able to produce tomatoes which are within the acceptable limits, and is now a very, very, very good exporter of tomatoes in different countries. And what excites him more is because using your Supergrow made it possible for him to get more rounds of harvest as compared to before you were using the Supergrow. So he's a very, very happy farmer now because of Supergrow.
So we had a meeting with farmers, a follow-up meeting, and a lady asked to come on stage and share the experience. So she gets on stage and she says, I'm very upset. You people lied to me. You didn't tell me the truth about Supergrow. And we almost fainted on the stage. So then she continued. She said, when you told me I need to use Supergrow, you told me the yield I'll get more yield, but you didn't tell me how much. I've doubled my yield, and I'm not prepared for it. So she said, my room to store the maize is so little, and I've harvested way more than expected. So you people lied to me. You should have told me I'm going to get a lot more. Again, that is a good problem. So I challenge you, if you have not tried Supergrow, even if you have a small garden, you have tomatoes, vegetables at home, flowers, it's amazing on flowers. So give it a try. You know, once you use it, you see firsthand, it will be easier for you to share and sell. Thank you.
Thank you. And back in Tanzania, Supergrow means richer farmers. Supergrow means better and healthier food, the produce. And also Supergrow means better environment because there's less toxins in the environment. Thank you so much.